I'll never mistake the way you give me my faith, my body.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you like this kind of content. This is basically me reviewing Into the Light Depthstream 2 and 1 together. I'm doing both together because I wanted to wait for the weapons for me to actually do a review. So the weapons stream came out today. If you have not seen it, I'm going to break it down for you. Very easy, simple. As a disclaimer though, before I get into the video, this is no form of me disliking the game or downing the game or like throwing hatred towards Bungie. This is all constructive criticism. All right, let's get into it. So today's live stream didn't just bring us weapons, but they also showed the social area, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called the Hall of Heroes, which is actually kind of cool. And there's a bunch of chests. There's also hologram guys of Shaxx that where it allows you to focus certain weapons. And then they even have Lord Shaxx with his red jack, one of his red jacks as a vendor. And his red jack has bounties and things like that, so that way you can focus certain weapons, so that way they can drop very easier for you, so that way you don't have to worry about them like dropping throughout the activity. And that's actually pretty cool that they add that. I'll give them that. That was actually very cool to add something like that, put Shaxx into the lore. And then with the addition of the social space area, they added 12 weapons. That's right, 12 weapons. And here's the weapons: Mountaintop, Secession, LC's Rifle, Forbearance, Edge Transit, Midnight Coupe, Blast Furnace, Luna's Howl, Recluse, Hammerhead, Falling Guillotine, and Hung Jury. And that's basically the weapons they added. And with the 12 weapons, there's a big issue with this. And, like, I don't mean to complain, I don't mean to gripe over everything, but I just want to give my full review over it. So, with the 12 weapons, two of them are raid weapons that are currently able to drop in the game, such as Secession, Forbearance. Those two are two raid weapons that you can actually get from a raid. And I don't understand why they added those to the list, because all they had to do was basically add these weapons to Hawthorne, since she has raid weapons in her already in her inventory as a vendor. That's all they had to do. Literally just add one random weapon with random rolls a week that Hawthorne has. Or you can click on it and focus farm those weapons. The next one would be Falling Guillotine and Hung Jury. Falling Guillotine literally comes from Banshee or Zur. Those are the two that literally drops that sword. The other one is Hung Jury. Hung Jury literally comes directly from Zavala. All you gotta do is take 5 Vanguard engrams, go to Zavala, and literally focus farm them straight out of his inventory. That's it. So I just named 4 weapons that's on this list. Alright, that literally had no reason to be on that list. And it just makes no sense. Like I get like they're trying to time is tough and they're trying to crunch out the DLC and free content. And I don't mean to complain about free content. But what was the point to add a Vanguard Nightfall weapon to this, 2 raid weapons, and then a sword that literally came from seasonal arrivals that's currently in the game that drops from not one, 2 vendors. 2 different vendors sells that sword. It made no sense to add those 4 weapons to that. Like they could have just like I said before, they could have just easily added all the raids from Val weapons and Deepstone Crypt to Hawthorne and had it that you can literally get. You have to complete the raid like how the way you did before, or make it that she literally sells raid weapons and you have to have a certain number of spoils and a random engram. That's it. A random deep sight engram. They can add a deep sight back to it. A random deep sight engram, and you can just focus farm one weapon a week from her with those random raid weapons in there. I don't understand why they chose to go this route. It was, in my opinion, there's so many other weapons that could have actually took that spot. Which confuses me because back in Beyond Light, they came out with the Destiny Content Vault, where they sunsetted our weapons, which a lot of us was upset. And they did that, so I'm thinking like, all right, so you sunset our weapons, but you said a lot of it's in the content vault. So how come we're not pulling different weapons from the content vault instead of pulling weapons that we already currently have in the game? Other than like the few that's on that list, they pulled 4 weapons on that list that's currently in the game, and it made no sense. It was kind of, in my opinion, or the way I felt, it felt lazy. And not only that, they're only giving us 12 weapons. 12 weapons. You hyped everybody up for only 12 weapons. And then like, when you said 12 weapons, we're like, wait, what? I'm thinking like, at least 30 weapons, maybe 20. 20, I would have been at least somewhat sufficed. But 12 weapons? Like, you guys sunset half of our vaults. And you only give 12 weapons. And 4 of them are weapons that are currently in the game where you can actually grab them out of the game. Where's the logic at that? Because we all know down the road, you guys are going to pull Hung Jury right back out of the, its space of being away for a little bit and put it right back into the Nightfall rotator, and now we have to farm another adept because you added something new to it. Come on. It makes no sense. And this is not me bad-mouthing Bungie. This is not me being rude about it. This is me being honest about it. They came up with the Destiny content vault, but we're getting content that's not in the content vault back into the game reissued to us. And it's like, dude, like, we have other guns that you can actually pull from the content vault. Like, we have, I'm going to show it in a few seconds, Dustrock Blues. Dustrock Blues is something that shook up the Crucible, especially for shotgun standards, and held that standard for what a precision frame shotgun should feel like. When we got Dustrock Blues, that showed us the standard of how shotguns should be for Destiny 2 with its current sandbox when Dustrock Blues came out. And hell, even not just with Dustrock Blues, we even learned what hand cannons should feel like when they brought Better Devils with random rolls. Like, Better Devils was good year 1 of Destiny 2, but it got better with random rolls. And if that's not the case, they can even pull stuff from Destiny 1, such as the Wing God Trials of Osiris sniper rifle. And that's not even the only weapon they can pull from. They can pull Hawksaw. They did it with Palindrome, so they can bring Hawksaw over. They can do it for Iron Banner, give us Clever Dragon. These are weapons that are currently within their reach to grab. Look, Water Star. They can pull Water Star as well. They can pull Blind Perdition. They can pull Burning Eye, which is about to show in a few seconds on the screen here. Burning Eye, the Trials of Osiris Scout. These are a lot of weapons they can pull from. And they don't even just have access to that, because they have proved that. Like, they can bring over Lilac. Bring over Lilac. Bring over Fabian Strategy, because they already pulled Ace of Spade over. Ace of Spade used to be a Hunter Pacific hand cannon. Only hunters can use it. So they might as well bring over Lilac and Fabian Strategy. Fabian Strategy is not hard to make change the gun, remix the gun a little bit to work in the sandbox. The same thing with Lilac. Remix it, make it work differently in the sandbox so it can work and it won't break the game. And then, like, the whole thing where, like, they was like, we can't bring Atheon's Epilogue into the game because, it can break the sandbox. Bro, we have 900 RPMs in the game. All you gotta do is just make it a 900 RPM. Problem solved. And the same thing for Doctrine of Passing or any fast-firing auto rifle archetype. And they didn't just do that. They didn't do that with some of the guns. They did that with a lot of our raid weapons. Like, Oryx came out. They bring back King's Fall, and they only brought back, I think, 4 legendaries out of it. 4 or 5 legendaries, and didn't bring all the legendaries back with it. They did the same thing with Vault of Glass. They only brought back some of the weapons, didn't bring back all the weapons. And it's like, if you're going to bring out the raids, and then now I'm talking from a PvE standpoint, if you're going to give us Destiny 1 content, give us the full content. Don't cut out the weapons you think is not popular, or think that is not going to fit in the game. Bring them. Bring them. And for all my Destiny 1 veterans, you know which guns I'm talking about. I'm talking about Praetorian's Foil for Vault of Glass. I'm talking about Timepiece, the rapid fire pulse rifle that came from Vault of Glass. I'm talking about the Oryx rocket launcher. I'm talking about these things. They need to bring them to the game. Like, you said they're in the content vault. Please Stop giving us content. If you're gonna reissue us content, give us the full content. Don't content drip us the content from the raid. And that's the same thing with the weapons. This feels like content dripping. This does not feel like they're giving us our content back. This feels like they're just, you know, all right, we thought of we thought of about 8 weapons, 8 to 7 weapons. All right, let's give them weapons that we already currently have in the game. That saves us time and effort in putting in guns, such as they brought the slammer back. Why do you think they bring the slam brought the fucking falling guillotine back? Forgive my French. Why do you think they brought falling guillotine back? It's easy because all they had to do was make it a stasis archetype sword called the slammer, and now they don't have to really remake the sword because all they got to do is give us falling guillotine back because it's the same exact sword. It's just with graffiti on it, and that's the problem I have with Destiny. Like, they give us content, but then they give us content that makes no sense to bring back. Or they give us content that's currently in the game and then try to play it off as new content. Like, if it's currently in the game, like the Vex offensive weapons. They brought us the Vex offensive weapons, right? And the weapons, they okay, but they're mediocre at best. They wasn't the best of our weapons that they could have brought back that would match with the current season. They just brought them back because it was convenient enough and easy enough to bring them back. That was it. And this is not me just being a crybaby and whiner. This is me giving constructive criticism to a company that I hold them responsible and accountable for the actions they make when it comes down to giving us our content. Because a lot of this content we already paid for. So a lot of veterans are upset as it is already because they're content flipping our stuff. They took our vault away. We was told the whole big sale for Destiny 2 was, you know, the Red Legion came, they destroyed your vault, so all your guns are gone. Alright, all our guns are gone. And then, little by little by little by little by little by little by little, they're pulling more and more content from Destiny 1 to give us content. And it's like, alright, we'll accept that the fact that you're giving back our old weapons because we do miss a lot of our old weapons. But now it's to a point where it's just like, they're not trying. And I get this is a free update. By all means, I don't mean to complain about a free update. A free update is a free update. But the issue is where no effort is made for the weapons that you give us. And I mean that not disrespectfully, but respectfully. Like, Falling Guillotine, are you kidding me? Like, Falling Guillotine is in the game. You gave us content that's currently in the game and then try to throw a spin on it. Trying to make it look cool or change some perks on it. What was the whole point of that? Like, why would I get rid of my current Falling Guillotine that I had since Seasonal Arrivals with the God Roll with over 6,000 kills on it for a brand new Falling Guillotine with a custom skin on it? That makes no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Why would I give up my fully crafted Succession for a random roll Succession? Why would I give up my fully crafted Forbearance for a custom skin random rolled Forbearance? That makes no sense at all. And I got what they was trying to do, but at the same time, it was very lazy. It was a very lazy and poor decision. The asset flipping with the Crucible maps, that wasn't lazy. That actually was kind of smart to do for a Horde mode. Because guess what? Gears of War did the same thing when it came down to their PvP modes. Instead of making a bunch of brand new maps, they used the current maps what they had and then extended upon those maps and allowed their game to play within the same sandbox of those PvP maps. So they basically made the PvP maps be able to handle the modes that was given a part of the maps that were there. And my problem is never with that. I like the fact that they came up with the Horde mode. I like the fact that they used the assets that were there. Cool. By all means, we have a lot of PvP maps. So that gives them a lot of room to do a lot of things when it comes down to our maps. That's all I have to say about that. But when it comes down to the weapons, it's like they hyped you up, and then when you get hyped for it, you go to play the content, and the content is like, hooray, whoop-de-doo. And it's only exciting for about a week or two, and then it dies out. And it's to a point where it's aggravating because you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. We're listening. We hear you. We're listening. We hear you. We listening. We hear you. We definitely are listening. It's like, all right, if you're definitely listening, why haven't you listened? That's the issue. You're saying you're listening, but I don't think you're listening. I think you're listening with your wallet than listening with your actual ears. People are upset about the game or the state of the game is not because they want to complain. Not every person that is giving you some kind of complaint during the stream or during on your Twitter page is complaining just to complain. Some people are complaining because they really care about the game and they put time, effort, and money into this game as a hobby, as something that they enjoy, and they want others to enjoy it too. And it's more focused on what they can put in the Eververse shop more. Why is everything cool looking or everything that looks great is mostly in the Eververse shop than given to the player where the player can go and farm it and earn it in the game? And that's my problem with Destiny. That's another problem I have with Destiny. Like, you claim you listen, but you mainly only listen within in the Eververse shop. Like, why is this the case? Like the whole Into the Light thing, the social space was cool. The onslaught mode was definitely cool because that's something that we've been asking for as a community for years. All right, but I have not seen some of the promises that were made. All right, the promises was one of the promises was we're going to drop Crucible maps towards the beginning of the year, even though we're delaying the game. We're going to drop some Crucible maps. I have not seen not one Crucible map drop since they made this statement. They got up on the stream, all right, and it made this statement that they're gonna add a bunch of content to the game to keep players at bay. Cool. And then they drop weapons, and it's like, all right, let me see what you drop, and it's like, why would why would I even go farm another Fall of Guillotine that's not Sunset? Why would I go farm another Succession that's not Sunset? Why would I farm another Forbearance that's not Sunset? It makes sense for Recluse. It makes sense for Blast Furnace. It makes sense for the guns that were Sunset that's on that list. It makes sense for those. But the ones that are currently in the game, in the current sandbox, that are actually usable still, where you can actually get them from vendors, as I said, and don't get me started on the LC's rifle. That was a complete lazy cop out. And I'm sorry if somebody thinks that I'm complaining and whining. I'm not. I'm just being honest with it. That was a lazy cop out. We got the same gun about almost 4 times. Alright. We got it as a stranger's rifle. We got it as the. Actually, first, let's not even go with the strange. We got it first as one of the verse weapons from Curse of Osiris. Then they brought it back as a Vex invasion weapon. Then they brought it back actually as No Time to Explain. Now we're getting it brought back again, instead of being called Stranger's Rifle, as Elsie's Rifle. Bruh, you brought the same gun back 4 times in different iterations for no reason. No reason at all. None whatsoever. Like, why? Nobody asked for that. Like, the thing is, you claim that y'all listening, and you was like, we had to only choose 12 weapons. But you guys have more than 12 weapons in the thing that you can actually pull over without actually having to do much to bring them over back into the game. And this is not, I'm not even talking about Destiny 1 content. I'm talking about Destiny 2 content that is currently within the data of the game. That's currently still in the data of the game. You could at least brought back 20 weapons, bro. 12 weapons is not gonna bring everybody back as you claim that it's gonna do. It's not. You want people to come back? What happened to the big things that happened with Forsaken? Forsaken shook up Destiny so hard that it made you guys come from the brink of death to full life and allows y'all to do what y'all do best. Give us good content. Give us good gear to grind for. This is not doing it. This is not doing it. And it's not me just complaining. This is me giving actual, factual knowledge. Like, a lot of streamers is going to say, yeah, this is cool. They brought back Luna's Howl. I promise you, Luna's Howl is going to drop. All those weapons are going to drop. But give it a month later, alright? Give it like halfway through May, and everybody's going to have all the roles they want. They're going to have all the gear they want, and then they're going to be bored again. and now you're gonna have to try to figure out how to keep them on the game, and then attract new customers to the IP that is currently active, where your ratings for your current IP, which is Destiny 2, is not so great. And I get it. You guys sat down on the stream, y'all played the game, y'all showed us some things, and I'm grateful for the content you guys have given us over these years. I am truly grateful. Because if it wasn't for Destiny, I wouldn't have made the friends I made. I wouldn't be enjoying a game that I play. I wouldn't have done TikTok or have this YouTube channel. But please, please, by all means, listen. Listen. Because you guys don't listen. That's the problem. You guys are giving what you think is going to work, but what you think is going to work is not going to work. It's not going to cut it. And I'm not talking about listening to your streamers or your YouTubers. I'm talking about listening to the people that don't have a platform to speak on. That's what my whole channel is based upon. The people that doesn't have the platform to speak on. I'm a small YouTuber, and I try to get by as much as possible and try to speak on things and on the behalf of the casual player that jumps onto the game and play. Am I casual? No. But I choose to be the voice of the casual. I choose to be the voice of the person that works the 9 to 5, then get on the game, and they put hours and time into the game. I choose my channel to be that for those players. Granted, yes, I have not made a lot of Destiny content in the past year and a half or so. Granted, listen. Go on Twitter. If any Bungie person happen to watch this video, please go on Twitter and just put out a question. What weapons are you the most excited for with Into the Light? And I promise you, the most thing is probably going to be Recluse, and a Recluse, Blast Furnace. It definitely ain't going to be Forbearance, and it definitely ain't going to be Secession or Fallen Guillotine, because you already gave us the Slammer. It made no sense to even do that. You gave us the Slammer. So basically, you reissued the same sword now 3 times. 3 times. A sword that has not been sunset 3 times. You gave us it as, what? Fallen Guillotine. Now Slammer. Now Fallen Guillotine again. That made no sense. After we all just farmed for Slammers, now you're giving us Fallen Guillotine again. That makes no logical sense. And I get it, you're going to probably change 1 or 2 perks on it, and you're going to add some things to it, but that's not enough to bring players back. Just saying. Shake up the sandbox. Shake it up. That's the whole thing. You guys have a bunch of... You want the comp players to be excited? One, I'm gonna drop a whole idea right here, right now. You want you want your competitive players to be excited. They jump into comp and want to play comp. Cool. Leave Rose, leave Macorial Overreach, and leave the new Pulse Rifle that you guys made. Now, you have comp weapons that you actually issued back in the past in year 1. Bring back Intimate Storm. Bring back the Marine. Bring back Better Devils. Alright? And if you want, you can throw Recluse or actually Recluse is in that thing. So bring back Not Forgotten, toss it right in there. Right? And now put them on a progression bar. Give Shaxx a second progression bar. And this progression bar is only for comp. Similar to how the way you have trials. Where you can go in there, you have to earn a certain amount of engrams, and you reach a certain point in comp, these weapons randomly drop for you. Right along with, the Artifice armor in there. Now these weapons drop for you randomly with random rolls. Right? Those I named weapons that was known throughout comp. And not only that though, if you even wanted, put Redrick's broadsword back in there too. My thing is this. You gotta give people a reason to grind. You gotta give them a reason to grind. Making people complete 3 matches in a row just to get 1 pulse rifle that is okay. That's just meh. That's not the grind. Giving us an emblem just for hitting, Ascendant, that's not the grind. Once the person hit that, there's really no reason for them to be in there other than, the one person that wants to farm Elo. Elo doesn't show anything currently in the game because it doesn't track within your system as you guys claimed in the past. So, that doesn't mean anything. Therefore, add weapons to that playlist. And I mean add weapons that drop out of the playlist, not just drop from Shaxx himself. Make it that every other match you have a chance of getting the weapon to drop if you win. That makes people want to grind for something. That makes people want to try to get a god roll or something. I'm sorry for the rant, but this is something that is just like, I stayed quiet for the first stream, and the first stream was good. I actually enjoyed the first stream. Literally, it was like, all right, Bungie's cooking. You know, they're cooking, and you guys were. You guys were really cooking with the onslaught mode. That's something different that we haven't had. Plus, that opens up the door for a lot of build crafting and things like that, especially for the harder difficulty version of onslaught. But when it came down to the 12 weapons you brought back, it's like you brought back only about 7. If I'm doing the math right, you only brought back 7 weapons. 7 or 8 weapons. Okay, okay. Actually, yes, only 7 or 8 weapons that you brought back. And then 4 of them are reissued. 4 of them are reissued, and then 1 of them is just a reskin gun. Forget about it. A reskin gun that came to us 3 times. Once as an exotic, 2 as the same legendary, and 1 is a reskin of the legendary with a bunch of leaves on it. That makes no sense. Like, I get that you guys were trying to cook, and I get it. You know, you're trying to crunch out content, and you're trying to keep the player engaged, but giving us half-baked legendaries and try to make us want to play is not it. It's definitely not it. I want to see Destiny back the way it was. Not saying that, you know, this new DLC ain't going to be it. What I mean by I want Destiny back the way it was, I don't want it to be back like, you know, super booming, but I want it to be back where you guys are making content and people are happy with the content you make, even if it's a reskin content. But don't reskin the same gun 15 to 16 times and then try to reissue it as a different name. And that's the problem we've been facing, especially with Trials. Trials, a lot of people don't really care. Like, I tried that new Scout Rifle, and the Scout Rifle was just meh. Like, you guys could have pulled something else. Anything else. Like, I get that you were trying to cook. You guys didn't even put other archetypes in the Trial sandbox as weapons. We still don't have 180s. We only have 1 sidearm out of Trials. You guys didn't even try to make a 3-burst sidearm or a single fire sidearm. What else? You guys went straight for the 750 archetype. Cool. Y'all did the 600s. Y'all didn't do a 900. You didn't even try to mix it up by making a new type of SMG. What about heavy burst SMG? Like, you would think that you guys would try that. A burst SMG. Even make the burst hand cannon archetype, the 2-burst hand cannon archetype as a Trials weapon. Try something. Try something different. Because the fact of it is, people are burnt out running Trials for the same exact gun that we already have. That you reskinned 15 times. That's all I gotta say. I'll catch you guys later. I'm sorry to be ranting, but this was just something that was on my mind that I wanted to say. And it's not me being ungrateful. This is me speaking truthfully from the heart. Because I want to see Destiny thrive. I truly want to see this game thrive. This game, yes, is old, but it can thrive. Look at Warframe. Warframe is on its 11th year anniversary, and the game is still fully thriving. Fully thriving. Constantly getting new updates. Constantly getting new players. And constantly listening to players' feedback. And I remember the days that Bungie used to do that. They used to do streams showing us exactly what they were doing with the new content. Showing us how they're shaking up the sandbox. Not us reading a piece of paper and, you know, hopefully a YouTuber makes a video showing the differences between the post sandbox changes and then the pre sandbox changes right afterwards. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. Hope you like this kind of content. Please comment down below what you think of the weapon choices. I would like to hear you guys' feedback on it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'll never mistake the way you give me my faith. My body feels safe.